Hi everybody, it's Nettie at Nettie's Dolls and welcome to my channel. I'm an adult doll collector and my videos are for adults. If this is your first time to my channel, I welcome you. I typically talk about 18-inch dolls. That's been my thing, such as Our Generation dolls, American Girl dolls, Maple dolls. And today I have a different brand, an 18-inch doll brand that comes from a different maker, doll maker, and it is the Queen's Treasure. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Queen's Treasure. I have often bought their products. I've bought some of their clothing. They make an array of different items that are kind of focused on Little House on the Prairie. And they do have some modern day kind of clothing and stuff like that. But the reason I actually finally decided that I was going to buy the three main dolls, which is Laura Ingalls, Mary Ingalls, and Nellie Olson. And I had contemplated buying them for many years, and I was just like not really sure I wanted to do it. And then I received an email from the Queen's Treasure saying that due to the upcoming tariffs, that they're a very small business and basically they're going to be very impacted by that and may possibly go out of business. They're trying not to do that, but because their dolls are created in China, like most toys are manufactured in China, the tariff difference is that they're not going to be able to even predict what they could get created in the future, what their supplies were to be. And so basically they said, what we have on our site is what we have. Come get it now. So that's what I decided to do. I was like, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to go ahead and get these dolls. So anyway, let me go ahead and start doing an unboxing. This is going to be just an unboxing and a review. I am not going to redress these dolls, okay? So let's get started. So I already started opening one. This is the box that it came in, just like that, very plain, and it says I don't know if that's coming up backwards. I don't think it is. It's LHDLLNO. It means Little House on the Prairie doll. NO is for Nellie Olson. So let's go ahead and open Nellie first, since she's kind of a spoiled brat and impatient. So if any of you watch the Little House series, I'm not talking about the books necessarily, but I'm talking about the program. We all know that she was quite the something because she was considered to be very spoiled. So now I unfortunately opened this upside down. This is how the box comes. So, her picture fell down. So this is going to be like, as I can see my face is in the shadow the way I have that light. That's kind of weird looking. Let me see if I can clear that because the doll's more important. But anyway, enough of that. So this is what the box looks like. It says Nellie Olson. And then it says Little House on the Prairie. And then I'm just going to take a look at what the other thing says. It says the Queen's Treasure, Little House on the Prairie, an 18-inch doll collection. So there is such anticipation. I can see her a little bit. And then this is what the back of the box looks like. It's sort of, the house looks like it's a log cabin, right? Which is kind of neat. So anyway, I'm going to just unbox. Let's get to it. I'm lifting the lid. I know you can't really see this. It's just easy to pop open, and then I will kind of give you a look right here so you can see what it's looking like. And she does come with a card, and I'm going to go take a look at it. It says Little House on the Prairie, meet Nellie Olson. There's her picture. That's cute, huh? And then it says, and then it has a little information. It says, imagine over 140 years ago. And I'll just read this first paragraph real quick. There's a lot to it. It's basically talking about, this is actually Nellie Olson giving her kind of input to me. So anyway, let's go ahead and read. A very pretty girl with long yellow curls and two pink bows on top. That's me, Nellie Olson. I lived with my parents and my brother Willie in Walnut Grove, Minnesota, above the only mercantile store in the town. My parents, Mrs. Nells and Mrs. Harriet Olson, owned and ran it. My brother Willie and I have so much candy and as many toys as we wanted. This made the other children in town horribly jealous. And then I'll just read this. She goes, I try to be gracious and generous to other children, but sometimes girls like Laura Ingalls and Mary Ingalls could be so common and peevish. Peevish, Peevish. They wore dull dresses and sometimes they went without shoes. Country girls. Still, I invited them to parties at our home so they could eat lovely sugar white cakes, drink lemonade, and admire my dolls. They even liked the old dolls. I suppose those were nicer than the raggedy ones they had. So it goes on. It's very, very charming, actually. And I could just see Nellie Olson saying all these things. So, and here's just a quick, I'm sorry, my nose is a little itchy. Here's a quick look at the back. So it shows you the other dolls. So this is really cool. I'm going to read that later. Oh my gosh, I like that. So I do see, as I'm opening the box, there is a little box damage here, a little squish. You know, it's not destroyed the box totally. So just that observation. And then this comes with just this, you know, little styrofoam covering. And I'm going to take a look at Nellie first. Oh, whoops, she's falling out. Oh gosh, I got to pick something up. So something just fell out. It wasn't secured. It looks like it is a little stuffed animal that she came with, one of her little toys. And I do have to come out of camera here for a minute. And this is what popped out. It looks like she has a little teddy bear, and it is dressed to match her dress. That is adorable. And you can actually take the clothes off here. Look, this might, I don't know, might fit a really small little Barbie sister or something like Kelly, whatever, but really cute. And the bow does not come out, but that's adorable. Let me see. Look at that. You can see it. It's jointed. Let me see. The arms too. Doesn't appear to be. I can't say that it is, but the legs are. That is adorable. That's very, very nice. All right, so let me put the little teddy bear aside. And this is what Nellie looks like. She is loose in the box. Doesn't appear that I'm going to have to like tear her out, which I like. I like that. So that's what she looks like in the box. And she does have a wig net, so her eyes are not completely open. Let me make sure you can see. All right, and let me get her out. So that was very easy. In the back of the box, there's just some, oh, this is cute. Let me show you. It has something that looks like a cabin. And I suppose if, you know, you wanted to, you could color this and use it as, I don't know, there's actually a cutout, right? You could cut it out here. And so she has a window, right? And she has a candle up here. You know, you could color it, and there's pegboards, you know, to pretend that's where she would hang her clothes. And then here's one of her dolls. Over here you can see a little bit. Let me actually take it out so you can see a little better. See? So I think that's really cute. All right, and now I'm really excited to get Nellie out. So, ta-da! Here she is. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks in the back real quick. She has very nice loose curls, very cute. And I'm just making observations right now about her dress. It's cute. It really is cute. And it's pretty nicely made, to tell you the truth. She has a pink bow in the back that's like candy striped. Very, very cute. And there's also the ruffles here, up here. So there's a lot of embellishments that went into this, and I think it's really cute. And the shoes are wonderful. I will say that I have other the Queen's Treasure shoes, and they are excellent, and I highly recommend them. I did get like a set of them, the boots and whatever, and so I'm very pleased to see that Nellie's got these fancy white ones that I could use on other dolls as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this hairnet off. it seems very easy to get off. Let me see before I misspeak. Getting it a little tangled up in her hair bow. That's me. I'm not saying that will be the case when you do it. Let me see. I'm going to rest her on top of this box for a minute and just see what I can do. All right, here we go. Still kind of wrapped around the bow, the hair bows. Oh, her head tilts. All right, so that's a nice quality already that I really love about these dolls. Oh my God, let me tell you something. I am very happy that I went ahead and got her. Okay, I'll just say that right now. She is cute. Her face is very whimsical. She's smiling. Look at this, how her head goes back and forth and it tilts up and down just slightly. I don't know if that's picking up in the camera. Her face does look a little reminiscent of Mapley dolls. Okay, that's just my initial response, but it's definitely different. They do have their own unique face. She does have her own unique face. Now let me see. Her hair is very soft. I'm going to check to see if it's a wig. If it's wigged or rooted. No, it is a wig. Very nice. Very soft curls. I like her. She's a nice doll. Okay. Now I did pay full retail price. It was $110 US dollars, but I did get a coupon off the entire order of 20%. So I don't know. I'd have to think about what she came down to totally, but I'll tell you what, she is beautiful. Really happy. Now she is, you know, she has the 5 points of articulation. So up, down here, head moves back and forth. And her arms do swing out just slightly. They're a little more stiff than the Mapley or the American Girl dolls. Like, they're a little stiffer, but they do have a little stretch. Let's see. Yep. Let me see if I do it up. Does it look a little more so? Yes. So there is a little more articulation up as opposed to down. Now she can sit down. I'm going to show her here. She's sitting down, no problem. Now I'm going to see how she stands on her own. So let me see here. I am going to take pictures. Her legs seem a little tight, like she's kind of sliding in a little bit. So I am having a hard time getting her to stand on her own. I don't know if the legs are a little lopsided. Oh, look. Bloomers. She has bloomers. So, and now she wouldn't have underwear because bloomers were the underwear, is my understanding. So, you know, these are from the 1860s they're supposed to represent. Okay, let me see. Wow, so no, I cannot make her stand on her own right now. I think this leg just feels a little tight. So I am going to look here to see what her body looks like. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and undress her, but not redress her or anything, just because I can get a look at what her body looks like and you can see as well. All right, so the bow is actually tied, so I had to untie it. And I turned her head completely around. It might look a little freaky, but that's the way that I usually avoid Velcro getting on the hair. Just a tip. All right. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, I'm sure you've seen it before. Okay, so this is neat. So she has a modified body, which is very interesting. It reminds me a bit of the My Life As dolls from Walmart, but she's a nice quality. She is a hard plastic. You can see that she has a soft body in the middle here. I actually like this because if she were to wear a lower top, you know, you're not going to see the seam in the neck, right? The seam, her head turns on this, right there, like that. So it would be interesting to see what her head looks like off, you know, the body, but I'm not doing that. And then you can see that it's stitched here in the back, right here. So if you ever had to do some repairs, and then she does have a tag here on the side. And I'm just taking a quick look to see what I can see. It says all new material content, 100% cotton. Filling is 100% polyester fiber, made in China. Let me see if the tag has any identifier. It says the Queen's Treasure, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. So originally, the Queen's Treasure was in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, which is not far from me. And God bless. I wish I thought that they had a shop. I could have went there. Maybe, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I sure would have liked to have seen it in person. So let me go ahead and take off her shoes as well. At least one, so I can get a good look at the foot to see what they look like. So she has, yes, she has toes. Can you see okay? I think. And then these are her hands, right? So she's really quite adorable. And anyway, the Queen's Treasure ended up moving out to New York. I think, well, I'm not going to even try to say the name. But more like upstate New York, and not near the city. So, and then this is what the butt looks like in the back. It's a little bit of like a duck tail. Kind of funny, you know. But I'll tell you what, this type of dress, you know, actually, the buttock, right, the backside actually probably makes the dress look cuter. Like it gives it a little perk, right? So I think she might have been too young to wear a corset, but definitely teenagers, you know, teen girls were definitely wearing them. So this is her legs are definitely stretchy. So I'm spending a lot of time on Nellie right now, because when I open the other dolls, I'm not going to be undressing them. So, but I thought this would give you a good chance to see what the body looks like. Okay. All right. So I am just going to, oh, and she has sleeping eyes. And I did want to mention that she has extremely long eyelashes, very long, very, very cute. All right. So let me put Miss Prissy, let me put Miss Prissy away here. And actually, while I'm doing that, I think I'm gonna talk about Little House on the Prairie. Okay. So when I was a child, well, not really, I was a teenager, and I believe that Little House on the Prairie came out around 1975. You know, I'll have to look at that, but I think it was the middle 70s. So correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me in the comments if you know when the actual TV show came out with Michael Landon and, oh my gosh, I can't remember all their names. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But I used to watch that with my dad. I loved this series, loved it. And then later, when I was a young wife, and it was before my daughter was born, I was watching all the reruns. And they really, I had, my first husband traveled a lot. Well, it wasn't that he did travel a lot on business. He had schools that he would go to for his occupation because he had to be trained. And he would go to Europe. So he would be in Holland. He'd be in the Netherlands. And he'd be gone for a month at a time. So I got really lonely. And so I started getting excited about the books. But before I start talking about the books, I did want to mention that I lived in Kansas when I was in the military. That's where I met and married my first husband. We both were stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas. And I don't think that's an active base anymore. I don't really know. But at the time, it was a very active base, and it was home of the Big Red One. So anybody that's a military history buff or whatever, you know, the Big Red One was a major player in the world wars, at least World War II, and maybe some of the later ones as well. Obviously, because it was in existence. And I joined the Army when I was 18, so 1978, right? So, and I served 3 years. So anyway, because I was in Kansas, and I was always fascinated, Little House on the Prairie, right? I always loved Laura's stories. I love Laura Ingalls because she was also born February 7th, which was the year you know, the day that I was born, right? February 7th. So I felt like, she's an Aquarius. We have more things in common. And I felt like we actually really did in many ways when I started reading her books. But so when our time was up in the military, we were moving back to New Jersey because we were restarting our lives as civilians, and we moved in temporarily with his mom and dad who lived in New Jersey. But before we did that, we stopped at the Springfield, Missouri location because that was Laura Ingalls' house that her and Almanzo Manley, as she would call him, he built that for her. And I got to go there and see that. So, okay, Nellie is back in her dress and she still looks wonderful. I like the bows. By the way, I forgot to mention the bows can come out. All right, so let me go ahead and set her in one of these doll stands. This actually is a Mapley doll stand. It's just easier to get her in there. The Queen's Treasure does sell, they do sell doll stands that tend to be a little cheaper. You can find them at the site, and I think sometimes Target even has them, and I've got them on discount, and they're more like this kind of style, although they do have a wooden base. So they are nice, and I have used them for my other dolls. I don't have any open ones, otherwise I would show you pictures. So let me set Nellie to the side, and let's get on to the next opening, the box opening. So where I left off was at Springfield, Missouri, right? And let me see, who is this? That's Mary. And this is Laura. Wow, this box feels extra heavy. So it is, again, Little House Doll Ingalls. L-I, I think, stands for Laura Ingalls. So let's open her up. Okay, so this box says Tycho. Can't see it. Oh, it is Ticonderoga, New York, and I really butchered that up. Butchered up that name. I've driven through there, I know. So anybody that's from New York, I hope you know what I'm saying, and that's what it looks like. And maybe you can see the lettering there. All right, so let's get Laura open. And I think I'm going to try this end this time and see if that's going to prevent her from coming into the world here, being birthed upside down. So I'm just going to move Nellie's box out of the way. These are really nice boxes. Okay. All right, let me just pay attention for a minute. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if you're, did you grow up watching Little House on the Prairie when it originally came out, or perhaps maybe in reruns? And also, did you read the books? All right. Handy dandy little box opener, and let me see, did I get it right? I'm going to just slide a little bit here. If I just pull it flat, then I don't have to worry about it being upside down, but I got it right. I got it right. So here comes her box, and it is the same coloring as Nellie Olson's box. Okay, and I'm just going to put that box to the side. So this is what it looks like in the front. That's, anticipation of seeing Laura Ingalls. And that's what it says. Same thing on the front. Laura Ingalls. And then on the back, same blue box. And there is a bit of information I forgot to show on the bottom here. So, it's kind of the typical age groups that this doll's appropriate, and then a barcode. So, all right. Let's pop it open and see Laura. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Whoop, got it. All right, so I'm just going to put that lid off to the side, and here, ta-da! Laura is going to be coming here in her jammies. So, very, very cute. I do have almost an our generation. I do have many dresses, handmade dresses of Little House on the Prairie type dresses, because I love that series so much. And I do actually have this outfit in green that I can dress Laura in. So, oh wait, does it show more on the back too than the other one? Let me check. Nope, same stuff. Okay. Is it? Nope, it is different. Okay, just a little different. I think that is adorable. If I had the room, oh my gosh, I would get that. All right, and then it says a little bit. I'll read the first 2 paragraphs maybe. Okay. Imagine over 150 years ago. So this one was 149. So I guess Nellie is a little older, right? All right. A small girl lived in a little gray house in the big woods near Pepin, Wisconsin. I had been in Wisconsin, but I never got to go to Pepin, and I'm so sad because I would have loved to have seen that area of where she grew up. Or, you know, was born at least. Although she was small, her curiosity was big, and that made her braver and more adventurous than what you might expect for a person her size. Watch out for us little things. I'm only 5 foot, so watch out for us. That little girl was me, Laura Ingalls. A wagon track ran through the trees of our house, but it rarely brought visitors. I lived amid the great dark woods of the forest with my pa, ma, Mary, my older sister, and my baby sister Carrie. We never felt lonely because in addition to all of us, we had Jack, our brindle bulldog, Sookie, and Rosie, the cows and chickens, pigs, and lots of wild animals to keep us company. Oh gosh, this is so cute. They're just wonderful. Like, I can't wait to read this. Can't wait to read this. One thing I did want to mention is that they do give historical backgrounds for adults. And it does say Laura Ingalls Wilder was born on February 7th, 1867. And it says where, right? And it just, yeah, it goes on. It says Laura's timeless little house books published between 1932 to 1943 are a cornerstone of America's pioneering heritage and family life of the frontier. They have been enjoyed by readers of all ages all over the world for many years. All right, so it did say that, okay, so the original Little House Prairie was on NBC. I remember that. And it aired from 1974 to 1982. Okay, cool. All right, that's enough of that. But you can see I'm really enthralled. All right, let's go check out Laura. So this again, now I am going to try to pop her open this time. Oh my God, I am so excited. She's got some really cool things in here. There she is with her blue eyes, her braided hair, her rag doll, in her pajamas, and it looks like she has a quilt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. All right, so let me go ahead. Oh, now her doll is actually attached to her, so I'm going to just bring her up so you can see. All right. Now, she won't really be able to hold the doll unless you maybe put it under the armpit. You know, it's not like the Maple Leaf dolls where the hands come across and you would have to like use a rubber band maybe. I don't advise that because that feels like it puts a lot of stress here. But she could definitely hold that. So I'm not going to pop that off, all right? I don't want to. Now, I'm curious. She's wearing a bonnet. I want to see if she has a wig cap. Or not, it's not what I meant to say, a wig net. She does not. So the way you get this off, right, because I am going to take it off, I do want to see her hair, is you untie and you take it off just like that. How darling is that? Very cute. It's got some eyelet, right? You would think it would be very basic, right? And I'm going to put that down. There are some things to show you in the box, but first I want to look at Laura. So again, same kind of build. She has bloomers. She has no shoes, right? Which is typical for Little House of the Prairie. I do have boots for her that I've gotten from the Queen's Treasure. So when I do put her in her dress, she'll have her shoes. But she'd like to be barefoot. I always was running around barefoot when I was a kid. Oh, did I ever. My feet were tough. So here's her hair in the back. It's a beautiful wig. It's nice on her. The hair feels not as soft. It's a little drier or a little, a little coarser, but not coarse like if you know, if you have an Addie doll, an American Girl Addie doll, her hair is coarse, right? Um, Textured, and but it's got enough to make a nice braid. Yeah, I'm just feeling both hair. It might maybe similar. I'm enthralled. I am enthralled with her. She's got the cutest little face. Look at those blue eyes. Hi, Laura. And she's got some very light freckles. I am going to very carefully bring these in. Sorry about the scratching sound. See if you can see her freckles. They're very light. Look at those blue eyes. And her eyes close. Long eyelashes. She is adorable. Oh, I love her. Hi, Laura. I am so happy you are part of my world. Oh my gosh, it took me so long. It's so cute. All right, let me just put this back a little bit here. And I'm going to put Laura down just for a second so we can take a look at her accessories. She has a pillow, right? Says the Queen's Treasure. It's just white. It would be basic, right? I don't even know if they had pillowcases back then. Of course they did. They would have had pillowcases. And then, check this out. This is gorgeous. This is a quilted... I mean, it's quilted, right? It's not, it's actually got stitching on it. That is adorable. If you have a little bed for her, oh my gosh, would that be cute? I'm very tempted to get a bed for her. That might, you know, I don't know if they sell the beds, but I think I might. Just for her, because she's in her jammies. Oh my gosh, I would love to, like, keep her in my bedroom. And she could take a nap when I take a nap. Adorable. Very, very nice. Here's what it looks like compared to Laura. So it's plenty big, and it would, oops, sorry about the way I'm holding her. And it would definitely cover her up. How cute. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to, you could use this, you know, as a little bed to put her in. To me, it kind of looks like, you know, like a coffin. You know, I wouldn't use that. But if you got a little child and you don't want to get a bed for her, I want to take this piece off so we can see. And that's what it looks like. Same as Nellie's. Very cute. Fold that back in. And let me go ahead and take her accessories and put them out of the way. So she came with some nice stuff. She really did. And I am going to put her bonnet back on her while I'm talking to you about my thing about being at her house in Springfield. So one of the things that was remarkable to me, it was a museum, and they had Pa's, if you know the story about Pa and how he liked to play the fiddle. They have the fiddle there. It's at the house. I got to see that. That was just made my heart pitter-patter. I wish I kind of had wrote down what I experienced when I was there. But I didn't, and that's all right. And I'm just sticking her braids. I know you can't see. What I did was I just put the bonnet back on, and I put this behind her braids. I'm not going to close it up for now because I do want to start opening up Mary. So anyway, when I was at the house, one of the things that stood out to me was because Laura Ingalls was short like me, 5 foot even, El Manzo built her cabinets in her kitchen from the ground up. There were, to the best of my knowledge and memory, there were no cabinets hanging from the ceiling. And I remember saying to my husband at the time, I said, you know what? That's what I need. I need that in my kitchen. So it was really cool. He built that house with her in mind. So it was a very, very loving. Now, for what I remember, I believe Manley was 10 years older than Laura. And he did die before her. She lived to be pretty old. I think he lived to be close to his 90s. Don't quote me on that. Let me see real quick if they do give her how long she lived till. It said Laura's reputation continued to gain momentum after her death in 1957. So she was 90 years old when she passed away. That's right. Okay, so she was blessed with a very long life. So anyway, after I had gone there, and I know her head is tilted up a little bit. Let me see if I can tilt her head down just slightly. I think that if I were to store them on my shelves, I would want them on a lower shelf so that they're looking up at me, because I am a short person, and I think it would work out really well for me. So keep that in mind. You know, these dolls need to be maybe at a height that you can see their smiley faces, because we definitely want to. All right, I'm going to put her next to Nellie. Nellie's like looking at her like, why are you in your pajamas? So, all right, last but not least, we have Mary. And again, it has Little House on the Prairie, doll, Mary, right? Mary Ingalls, M-I. So, all right. So I did this. I think I did it right the last time. I'm going to cut on the opposite end of that label there. Did I show it right? Yeah, okay. So after I had saw that house, I mean, I always, you know, just kept watching the show. And then fast forward to just, I think it was 1984 or 85, you know, and like I said, my Don was my first husband, and he was traveling a lot on business. He worked lots of overtime, and I actually felt pretty lonely. And I did belong to a church and lived in a house that was part of the church, belonged to the church. We rented one side, and the pastor and his family lived on the other. And I just remember watching as much Little House on the Prairie as I could. And we didn't, you know, and back then, you know, you couldn't just watch it all the time. It was whenever it played on TV. So I ended up actually buying the books when I was at the store back in 1981. And I just kind of like kept them on the shelf, and I really didn't read them. But then I started to have the urge, and then I read those books. I read the entire series. There's like 7 books, and I remember reading them over and over and over, because why? Because it made me feel like I was part of their family, and because I was so lonely for my husband, because I didn't have a lot of friends back in the day. You know, never had a lot of friends because of how I am. I'm kind of quirky. But anyway, there it says Mary Ingalls. Let's take a look and pay attention to Mary Ingalls. I will continue my story while I'm showing you her. Okay, and same thing on the back. And I'm just looking real quick at the back of the box. They're all blue. They all have this blue color. Okay, all blue. All right, so dun 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 dun. Let's start lifting that up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, I have such a pile of boxes right here now. Okay, so there you go. That is Mary Ingalls, and it looks like her hair is reddish compared to Laura, but I'll see in a minute. She will also have blue eyes. My understanding is that the entire family had blue eyes. All of them have blue eyes. So, all right. And on the back, it's similar, okay, to the others. And then let's go ahead and read what it says. Imagine over 150 years ago, a young girl with a quick mind and an eagerness to learn, lived in a little gray house in the big woods near Pippin, Wisconsin. She had golden, shiny hair and wore a china blue dress that she always kept fresh and crisp. That little girl was me, Mary Ingalls. A wagon track ran through the trees, so you know what? It's the same story as Laura, so I'm going to skip that paragraph and go to the next. Every season held something special for us to learn and to do, from churning butter and putting away food for winter to making maple syrup in the spring. Laura and I helped wherever we could and did our best to behave, which came naturally to me because I was the oldest sister. I liked being good, minding my manners, and being ladylike whenever I could. But in the spring, I couldn't help but run barefoot outside sometimes. So that's great. So let's take a look at this beautiful Mary doll. And she is, okay, that's interesting. That's a little different. I'm going to show you the presentation right away. Okay. And she actually has a hairnet on her wig. Very interesting. All right. And she has, oh wow, what a neat accessory. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm going to go ahead and show the accessory first. So it comes tagged like this, right? It's showing her lunch bag. So this is really cool. One of the things I want to mention about this, my mother was born in the 1920s, okay? The middle of the 1920s. And she lived up in Wisconsin. She also loved the Little House series. And let's see, I don't want to cut this Let's see if I can get this off real carefully. So I'll just tell you the story real quick. So my mom told me that she had a little pail like this for school. And this is like how it was for her when she was growing up. So she was in school, you know, in the early 1930s. So they were still using it. That's what it looks like. Very, very cute. What a wonderful accessory. So I am making a little bit of noise here. I don't know why I'm trying to be so careful with this. It's like it's mine. You know what? I like things like this, like even twine or whatever it is, but it is going to take me a little bit of time, so I'm going to just give it a snip in the back here. Okay, that's good. Did I get it? Yep, got it. All right, so sorry for all the crinkling. This would drive me crazy if I was listening to it, but it doesn't bother me so much when I'm doing it. All right, so here's the pail, and it is metal. It is metal. And, oh, I think it comes with stuff. There's a pail. Look at that. What's in here? This is a cotton bag. Puts a heavy string, like a burlap string. Oh, I have got to see. Is it just stuffing? It feels like there's something in here. Oh, I think there are. There are things in here. Let's check it out. All right. Oh, come on. What do you have? Oops. Ooh. Okay. She has an apple. Look at that. It's very black on top, but she has an apple, and it's wood. It feels like wood. Okay. And then she's got, what else did she get for lunch? I haven't eaten yet today, and I'm not going to. I'm doing a long fast, 36-hour fast. She's got some kind of bread, right? Does it say? Okay, so it does say the lunch pail with the gingham liner with a drawstring includes. I'm not going to say. I'm gonna like say what it has. So it has an apple. I think this is a wedge cookie. I don't want to give away everything yet. I want to show you so you can see. What else does it come with? What else? It's wrapped very nicely in this tissue paper. The presentation is very nice. Ooh. I think this is a wedge of cheese. I don't know. It looks like a souffle to me. It looks like a biscuit. What else? Oh, here's the wedge of cheese. Okay, here's the wedge of cheese. These are all made out of, it feels like wood to me. Might be, feels like wood. I don't know if it's plastic, feels like wood. What else? Oh, and it's supposed to, there's supposed to be, okay, so she's got her little mug, and there's supposed to be a hard-boiled egg, but you know what? I don't see the hard-boiled egg. Oh, here it is. Here it is, a hard-boiled egg. Yummy, I'm hungry now. Look at that. That is adorable. So I'm going to do these one time real quick in case I was going too fast for you. With the milk. There's supposed to be a hard-boiled egg, molasses cookie, and an apple. So I'm not sure what these things are. Okay? They look like some kind of buns. Like a biscuit. Cheese. And I already showed the apple, but that's cool. And then this is how it would be stored, right? It would be right in here. This is where all her food would be kept. You know, because they had Ziploc bags and all the horrible plastic that we have today. So, very, very cool. Although I don't think she would have had milk. I think more than likely they would have been drinking water from the well, you know, at school. So, very, very cool. Because milk would have been a luxury, honestly, to have at school. Now, there I go, and I just pull. That is neat. And then let's go ahead and take a look at her chalkboard. That's her slate that she would have been writing on. And I didn't have a slate. I mean, the teacher, when I was in school, they had slates, right? They didn't have the magic marker boards that you have now. that you wipe. But it would have been cute if they had just a little piece of chalk or something like that. I'm sure I could find something in my collection that would substitute. Gosh, I know there's lots of stuff that our generation has. So this is very cute. Very, very cute. All right. Let me go ahead and get Mary out of her box. So before I forget, let me talk about it. So anyway, the books. I read the books. They made, and I'll just sum it up that the books really made me feel like I was part of their family. And that was really important to me because I was lonely and I was pretty depressed at that point. And even going to church wasn't very helpful, you know. But eventually I had my daughter in 1986 and we got our own house and stuff like that. But I still always watch Little House on the Prairie whenever it can catch it. And I've read those books at least 3 times over, all of them. And I highly recommend them. Okay, so Mary has her pretty bow that you've seen in TV or in photos. Her hairnet comes down all the way around her face and all the way into the back. So in order to get it off, I am going to have to untie her bonnet, which is this like paisley looking, like little flowers and whatever and ivies. It's very, very pretty. You can see, right, comes all the way down and all the way across her face. So my initial thought is to kind of do it like I would if it was an American Girl doll, which is taking the long part off first, but I'm not, just because of that bow. I'm going to try it from the front, the top, and over. And that actually was very easy. Easier to do than Nellie's. So let me take a look at her beautiful face. Very, very cute. She does have blonde hair. It is a golden blonde. Her eyes are blue like her sister's. All right, and I will show you in a minute. Oh, very cute. Now her bow is in the back. I just need to tie that so it doesn't come undone. Very cute. They all have very pink coral lips. They all kind of look the same coloring. Maybe Laura's is just a little darker, but Mary's is the same, I think. Look how cute she is. Very, very cute. You could bring her hair forward. I think her face looks a little harsher because of the way her hair is. But now it looks like it softens it up. So I think Mary probably would have had her hair like that a little bit, you know, showing off her beautiful golden locks or whatever. I know that Laura always wished that she had blonde hair, but her brunette hair is beautiful too. And this is what it looks like in the back. So she definitely has a very beautiful and very authentic looking outfit. She does not have freckles because she probably wore her bonnet more than her naughty sister Laura. And these are the boots. So these are what the our Queen's Treasure boots look like. And they fit American Girl dolls. They fit, I think they do fit Mapley, and they also fit our generation. So very, very cute. Now I am going to put her bonnet on her so that she doesn't get freckles that she doesn't want. Oops, I put it on backwards. Bill goes in the front. It is stiff. This is soft in the back. It feels like a jersey material. It doesn't really feel like cotton, where Laura's dress feels more like cotton, and so does Nellie's dress. Feels more like cotton. Yeah, I mean, the bonnet part up here feels like cotton. This material doesn't, but the rest of her dress feels like cotton. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert, okay, on fabrics. I don't even try to guess. Oops. So I guess I might have to tie this on her. At least tighten a little bit in the front here. So, see what I'm doing, at least so it doesn't pop off. I can't even see as her face isn't showing. There you go. And there she is. Very cute. I am going to take pictures, of course, at the end, like I always do. Anyway, so that is my review of the hang on a second. You know how I am. I gotta do one thing at a time. Make sure that she's okay and that she's looking right. All right, so that is my review of the Queen's Treasures dolls, Mary Ingalls. You see if I can do this without falling. I have a lot of stuff in front. Come here, Laura. Laura Ingalls. And Nellie. Come here, Nellie. They all come with accessories. The clothing is very of good quality. Oh, she's gonna tip. So anyway, I am very happy with my decision. You know, I have such a large doll collection. I've really am being more selective in what I buy. I'm really being very selective of our generation because I have so many of them. I have quite a few American Girl dolls as well, Mapley dolls. And so I wasn't really sure I wanted to get another brand, but I am 100% happy that I did. I have no regrets. If you like these cute faces, some people don't. I do. They do remind me a little bit of Mapley. Mapley are a little more realistic, more realistic. These are a little more animated. I think they're adorable, and I am 100% satisfied and happy and delighted that these girls have joined my family. So anyway, everybody, that is my review for today, and I hope that you enjoyed it. The Queen's Treasure is a small business, and I hope that you will support them in any way that's possible for you to do so. So everybody, have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye. Let's see, will it work? 1, 2, 3.